I like to say, and maybe we're giving away the tools of our trade, but I like to say 10% of what we do as coaches is calories and macros. 90% is what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah,
And that's the
absolutely.
truth. This is a scary topic.
It is. So, how we're going to go about this is we're going to give you, I think we have about
Hmm.
eight. Do we have about eight topics
Plus a
of things
couple.
that, and plus a couple, like eight and a half or eight and a quarter, something like
Hmm.
that. And then we're going to talk about the issue, and then we're going to do a real, like a
Yeah.
solution. So we're not going to leave all the solutions at the end. We're going to like talk about all of the stuff,
Yeah.
and then we're going to give you the solution.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and
Okay, you
start if
go.
that's
You
okay.
go.
So the first one seems to be a very common one, especially if you have been in the dieting world for a really long time. And all of those have probably failed. So you're dwelling on the past fails. So if you're hesitant to do yet another lifestyle change, now you're kind of like, oh, well, that one didn't work out. And I'm kind of don't really want to trust my coach with all this, these feels that I have. So you may be haunted by previous attempts
Hmm.
at weight loss. Now, if that is you, then what would the solution be? The solution would be to embrace a mindset of learning from the past rather than being chained to
Hmm.
it. And every attempt is a step forward,
Yeah.
that progression. And I like to think about when spring cleaning
Ah,
and cleaning out the junk closet. I hate the junk
hate it.
closet, but you find a whole lot of stuff that's been stuffed in there that you don't
Hmm.
need.
Some things you do.
And
Some things you're
some
like, you
things you
find
do,
treasures in there.
you do. Like you've lost something for a while
Yeah,
and you
there
couldn't
it
find it.
is.
Oh, it was in the junk closet. Uh, but junk closet has been so full that I cannot close the door anymore or the
Hmm.
drawer. And what happens when you can't close the door in the drawer anymore? You're like you're like running into it and trying to close it. You're trying to like slam it shut. And then to the point where you just yank the door open and said, forget this. And so
Yep.
then that's when all of that spills out.
Yep. Yep. So learning from the past rather than being chained by it. So what worked for you in the past? What failed for you in the past? That's a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about laziness.
Ooh.
We have an epidemic here in the United States. I don't know if it's singly, if I'm singling out the United States, but we have an epidemic because we're lazy. In the same face as laziness, we are the most busy people that we can be. And so sometimes the laziness and the fact that, oh, I don't want to cook dinner tonight.
Yeah.
I am, it's often a feeling of being masked, feeling overwhelmed and lacking motivation. And it really is that the convenience of our world today makes us a very, very lazy people. And so the solution to this problem that we have is breaking these things into smaller and smaller manageable tasks and celebrating each victory that we have, building a momentum, right?
Yeah.
Understanding that being healthy and living in this world of health is not an easy thing. And when it's not an easy thing, we grasp a hold of it and say, okay, I'm going to do the things no matter what. I'm not going to let laziness be a part of my journey, right? What's
Right.
the next one, coach?
So the next one is something I deal a lot about, but before uh, it was the fear of missing out or FOMO. I like to call it that. It's a shorty. But the issue is worrying what if that following a healthier lifestyle means missing out on the fun. Girls' nights are no longer the same. Uh, Movie nights are no longer the same. And so, what's the point if I'm going to miss out on this social gathering? Um, well, let me tell you what the solution is here. The solution is to focus on the gains rather than the losses, to find joy in a new, healthier experience. And let me tell you, not having your legs chafe when you're trying to take a nice, brisk walk is a huge non scale victory. Being able to play outside with your kids, throwing the ball outside, and having the energy is a huge gain of
Yeah.
happiness and not feeling like, like did, a failure of a mom. And I know you have mentioned in the
Oh,
past
yeah.
that you've just felt like a huge failure of a parent because you were not able to give yourself to your family like you would have wanted to. So being able to replace something, yes, fear of missing out, but something with so much better that's going to create better memories, better experiences. And you can find a replacement at those social gatherings. You can find new things to replace, by even suggesting, hey, ladies, let's go out and dance instead of, going to this cake factory. Finding something active to do with your friends, going for hikes, doing things like that that would, I don't know, make a situation a lot better. What would be another thing that would also be kind of an issue, Coach? I'm trying to spit that out.
Well, we deal a lot with this, and in our line of work, we call it the red dog theory. And if you picture with me, sometimes people think of it as the demon and the angel sitting on the shoulder. We call it red dog and blue dog. And what we find a lot of times is that our clients let pessimistic thoughts control their actions. So they have the red dog sitting on their left shoulder saying, you can't do this. You've already done this before. See, you didn't lose a pound this week, so it's not working. See, you tried. You did everything. You counted every single macro, and you only lost 0.14 pounds. You are a failure. You are this, you are that. And so what happens is our clients fall prey to this, and they start believing the thoughts in the mind of this red dog, and they let the red dog take control over their journey. And that will eventually cut them off at the legs. They will forever believe the red dog, when what happens is what they should do is look over to the other side and say, okay, the red dog is saying I'm no good. What is the blue dog?
Sorry. Can we just explain what's happening?
We need to stop and explain for the podcast world. We just had a meltdown in the office.
We literally have a red dog named Clark that is like needing my attention. And so as we're talking about the red dog is getting on my shoulder and saying, let me outside.
And for all of you that are listening to us, we are on video right now. So if you just imagine, I am knee deep into the red dog theory, and I am seeing this red dog pop up in Darcy's camera, and it was overwhelming. We love to say that this podcast is extremely professional. We have no interruption.
It's so professional.
We bring props to our podcast, and we've got the red dog here. So what happens when the red dog for our clients is not as cute as Clark is. The red dog is serious. But what happens when the red dog speaks is we have to reverse that. And we teach our clients, this is how you reverse the voice of the red dog. This is how you do it. The red dog says you only lost a pound. Look at what a pound looks like. Look what just came off of your body. You say you're anxious. We say you are healthy. So we teach our clients to reverse the red dog language, and we turn into the blue dog. And that really, really is a help and a tactic. And recognizing the red dog in the first place. So sometimes our clients are not strong enough, and they are not good enough yet at reversing that negative talk. We teach them just to recognize, because so many times we let the red dog get away with speaking, and we let him control our lives, and we don't even acknowledge that it is him speaking, and it turns into our own voice. And that is when we crash our journey. So learning to recognize the voice of the red dog. Darcy, can you talk, in extension of this, can you talk a little bit about anxiety?
We are on the same page, girl. So that when red dog is speaking so loud, and again, it's like at the beginning when I talked about when you feel like you are just shoved in the corner because of how loud everything is and how loud the red dog is speaking, you start to get that anxiety. And you start to be like, you want to scream. You feel like something's heavy on your chest, and there's nothing else that you can do other than giving in to what the issue is causing. So it could be that state of FOMO.